Disabled People's Mini Histories from Manchester and Beyond. Episode 2: Children in Need versus the Wrath of Dan.
A photograph of a disabled people's protest includes a banner in the background with the words "Rights, not charity."
In the early 1990s, the battle cry of "Rights, not charity" was a key component to disabled people's protests against the likes of ITV's Telethon and BBC's Children in Need. Although often well-intentioned, charities have traditionally acted and spoken on our behalf without the consent or involvement of disabled people. Many disabled people argue that the charities do more harm than good, as they perpetuate the myth of the helpless victim by the language and the imagery they use to raise funds.
An image showing the front cover of the Coalition magazine from December 1993.
The following edited extract from 1993's Coalition magazine documents one such protest that took place in Manchester. On Friday the 28th of November, members of GMCDP and Unison's Disabled Members Group donned the role of Direct Action Network demonstrators to disrupt television coverage of a 40s night fundraiser for children in need.
A Coalition magazine article with photos about the Children in Need protest.
The opening celebration, a display of Second World War Army paraphernalia, was getting underway when Dan marched into the centre of Albert Square. Filming by the BBC cameras was hastily abandoned, much to the displeasure of the GIs in their uniforms and weapons. "Do you know how long we've been rehearsing this?" asked one irate soldier. "We've been rehearsing this all our lives," came the response from Dan.
A photograph taken inside Manchester Town Hall as protesters are told to leave the building by one of the event organisers.
As the TV crew moved into the town hall for the main event, the demonstrators sneaked in by a side door and had gained access to the Great Hall before the organisers realised who they were. Talking over the issues and handing leaflets to people, the demonstrators were making their point peacefully. However, a very twitchy organiser called the police to have them ejected.
A photograph of protesters outside Manchester Town Hall being questioned by a police officer.
Faced with a choice between being thrown out of the building altogether or being allowed to distribute leaflets in the lobby, Dan opted for the latter and immediately stumbled upon the camera crew doing some more filming. At least that was until the Dan Choir arrived on the scene again.
A photograph of protesters with placards outside Manchester Town Hall, one of which reads, "Children in need keeps us in need."
Dan's parting shot was to form two lines which bemused and nervous partygoers had to pass between, amid songs and chants of protest. "You've completely changed the way I think about people in wheelchairs," said one of the merrymakers. "Good," was the general Dan response.
A photograph of a banner that reads "Dan, Disabled People's Direct Action Network, Rights, not charity."
Postscript. Sadly, Children in Need has not listened or learned, still underscoring the lives of disabled people with soporific music and words calculated to pull at the heartstrings and make our existence that little bit more tragic.
An image of a media report with a headline that reads, "David Lammy is right to call out the white saviour narrative." If only Comic Relief understood that.
But the public's attitude towards how charities portray those that they seek to help is beginning to change. A case in point is the recent furore over the white saviour narrative that underpins much of how Comic Relief reports on its outreach work in other countries.
A leaflet from the 1993 Children in Need protest, which includes an image of Pudsey Bear holding a placard that reads "Rights, not charity."
Disabled people's organisations are still campaigning and waiting for that moment when society realises that what we need are rights and equal status, which will never be delivered through charity. This film has been made possible due to the funding by Manchester City Council and the ongoing support of Archives Plus at Manchester Central Library. This is part of ongoing work by the Disabled People's Archive at Greater Manchester Coalition of Disabled People to document and preserve the history of the disabled people's movement in the UK and the individual trailblazers within it.
The logos for the DPA, the Disabled People's Archive, Manchester City Council, GMCDP, Greater Manchester Coalition of Disabled People, and Archives Plus.